We are joined now by Patty Victor, who is the president and CEO of the Matthew Reardon Center for Autism, and Faye Montgomery, who is the advocacy director and conference organizer. And this is your fourth annual conference that's going to be coming up on February 28th and March 1st. It's the 2019 Autism Conference.
Yes.
So how did it all come about?
Well, the conference, this is our fourth year, and the conference has really been a way for us to serve more people in the community and really bring awareness and education to teachers, families, self-advocates, and really broaden our impact.
And so the guests who attend, how do you think it's going to impact them?
Well, our goal is to provide tools and strategies for how to assist people with autism in the challenges that autism presents. It's also, this year, we're going to do what's called a reverse job fair. This is the first time in Savannah. The conference is going to be at the Savannah Convention Center, by the way. And at the reverse job fair, this is where employers who are willing to employ special needs employees come and they interview young adults or adults with autism who have been trained. We're having planning sessions, preparation sessions for how to interview, what employers should expect from employees, and it's a very exciting opportunity, not only for people who have autism, adults who are looking for employment, but for employers who would like to participate in this inclusion.
Absolutely, and for families who have an autistic child to be able to see them be able to dive in somewhere.
Well, and a lot of our speakers at the conference have autism, and this is particularly encouraging because a lot of them really struggled as kids.
Well, sure.
And one of the hard things I think for parents and teachers, for anybody, is staying with it, seeing that the end is in sight, and even though this is a very trying time, the child is going to learn. They are going to develop. They are going to become independent, constructive, productive people.
Their capabilities are just off the charts, their capabilities.
That frequently is. I mean, autism is a communication disorder. It disrupts a person's ability to communicate, to socially interact. And in our society, social interaction is everything. Verbal communication is very important. And so if you struggle with that, it's gonna make your whole life harder.
Well, sure. I mean, they're just different triggers and they're just different wiring, you know.
Right. Exactly.
So you selected your keynote speaker. Tell us about
Dr. Temple Grandin is going to be our keynote speaker, and Dr. Grandin is the rock star of the autism world. HBO made a movie about her life with Claire Danes several years ago, and it was an excellent presentation of her life. She was very pleased with it, but she's a brilliant woman. She is an animal research scientist. Her work is recognized internationally, but she's also probably the highest profiled autism advocate in the world. And so we are really delighted to have her, as well as a whole line of speakers. And self-advocates. Again, Daniel Wendler will be returning. This is going to be Daniel's fourth time with us. Daniel's working on his PhD at Fox University, but Daniel has written books about how to develop social skills. And it's he has taught himself in high school and has been learning it ever since. And so he is particularly good for speaking not only to families and educators, but to self-advocates, that these are skills that really can be learned.
So let's talk a little bit about that job fair too, because we have such an engaged community here, and how do people get involved, and what are you looking for?
So the reverse job fair basically flips the tables for on employers, where instead of like a traditional job fair where it's the employers who have their tables set up and then potential employees come in, we reverse it. So because the thing is that our job fair is very intimidating. I mean, anybody, autistic or not. So if you have any amount of social anxiety, having to initiate that conversation with a potential employer is very difficult. So the reverse job fair turns that table and puts the job seeker as the person who is there in the room with a table with a presentation of their resumes and their CVs. And it actually puts the employers on edge, right? And I've heard reports from other reverse job fairs where it's the employers who actually get nervous going into that room because they're the ones then that have to initiate that conversation and talk about their company.
Folks got to get there and check out the 2019 Autism Conference. Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching Talk of the Town. I'm Carrie Dillon in for Sandy Benson, and we'll see you next time.